Hey guys, it's Peter Cunha, your New Jersey real estate giant, a broker, owner of Open Doors Realty, and I am honored to have somebody on this week's business partner. This is Theresa Semple. Theresa, welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and she owns her own business. It's called Semple Solutions, which is employee benefits. And what I really appreciate about you, Theresa, is that you're like one thing that I've always been fascinated is like the amount of level that you give to your clients, not only your clients, but their employees, let's say, right? And we'll get a little bit into it about that, but I've always admired that because it's a passion, right? It's a lot of people are just like, hey, I want the easy job. I want to sell the big corporations and just kind of sit back. Um, Also, just talking to you for a couple of minutes, I didn't realize that you were born and bred in New Jersey, in the great town of Sayreville.
I'm a Jersey girl, a Jersey woman at this point of my life, but a Jersey person. Yep.
Yeah, I love it. So, for a lot of my audience, we're obviously from New Jersey. What's the one place that we have to go to in Sayreville?
Ooh,
Whether it's a restaurant,
it's the one place I like to go. I like to go down to the park and just walk.
what
Kennedy Park and
Kennedy
just
Park,
walk. It's a nice park. It's an easy park for walking.
right?
And, it's just, it's calming. I think it's a calming park.
Okay. So let's get into it. I mean, let's talk about Semple Solutions. How long has it been around? What kind of inspired you to start it in the first place?
I launched the first company, Semple Benefits, in 2012, October of 2012. And then we kind of really revamped everything and launched Semple Benefits on January 27th of 2014. And honestly, I never looked back. I've worked for carriers, I've worked for other brokerage firms, and it was just time for me to go on my own. It was something that I had the confidence in myself, and my family had the confidence in me. So I decided, we decided as a family to launch. So it was a gamble, but it was a great gamble. And like I said, I've never looked back.
That's I love hearing that, right? Because it's you're the master of your own destiny. It's
Mhm.
all these people that kind of don't see how we do it. I'm like, listen, sometimes it's just a calling that you have to take. So let's talk about this because you and I were talking about this. It's employee benefits. What does it mean? You and I have had a one-on-one before, but nothing like this. And why is it important? Because I'll give you my take on it, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay. Well, you know what? In this market, everybody's competing. The hiring pool is getting tighter and tighter, even though there are so many people not working, whether they've elected not to work, they can't work, whatever their reason. So it's getting very tough for employers. And one of the things that I've explained to my clients and encouraged them is think outside the box. Benefits are benefits. Okay. Yeah. You can offer, there's a gamut of carriers. So what can we do to make your package look so much better than your competitor where it won't cost you? So can you do free wellness things? Can you offer, we just were talking about it earlier, work from home days, or how about a floating day off? Doesn't count towards your PTO or your sick time, but paid time off. It just is a floating day. You get to pick it. Little things like that mean a lot to employees, especially as we're coming out of the pandemic. Everybody's looking at for what's in it for me. So so I do benefits, but in this reality of my industry, that can't be the only thing you do.
Right. So it's funny, I have a real estate coach. I also coach, and it's one of the things that we always talk about is culture, right? And I was telling you that there's a small little company that I worked for, and the reason why we had powerhouses working with us, there was two things. It was the culture was by far number one, right? We were all kind of these free thinkers, not we didn't want to be pigeonholed to. I remember one boss once told me, he's like, Pete, we hired you to sell. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff. Like, we have people for that. And I'm like, I'm not that person, right? Like that's
Yeah.
not the culture that I wanted. Versus, it was we had this free think culture. We certainly grew the company with different ideas and a collaboration of sorts. And then the second part of it was we had a lot of people that was very, we were very family oriented. So what was most important was how much time could we spend with our family? What were the benefits?
Yeah.
Right? Because, when you're talking about a family of 4 or 5, even just 2 people, insurance does play a part of it. I'm thankful. My wife has, I own the brokerage, but she has her full-time job where, she gets benefits and I don't have to worry about that.
Mhm.
And especially as a newer firm, I interviewed some people early on where I wanted an admin, and I went to you, and I'm like, "What are benefits? What do they cost?" As a new up and coming company, I'm like, "Holy cow!" What
Mhm.
does I didn't know this,
Mhm. Yep.
you know, and it's a lot of people would have came and worked for me. There's two things. It's just so hard to hire somebody. A, I can't afford them. When prices went from I feel like they went from $10 to 22.50 per hour. Plus
Yeah.
now you have to pay the benefits, and where's the sweet spot for a
Yeah.
company that's just kind of not the startup, but we have some employees and we're really growing something here. Where does it kind of the scale benefits of scale really start to kick in?
Well, when new companies come to me and they're looking for, put benefits in, my first question to them is why? Tell me why. And they'll explain that they're looking to hire. And and I don't mean it the way it's going to sound, but many times when you're looking to hire an admin, it's a person who's just looking for maybe some time during the week. They don't want to work 40 hours. They probably have done it. They're not interested, or they have children. There's a reason. So did you ask the reason? Like, what do you really need? Let's figure out a medium, middle ground for you. And then at that point, look at alternative benefits because they're not as expensive. So look at maybe saying, you know what, we offer supplemental, we offer the Aflac, we offer the Colonial, we offer life insurance, we offer dental and vision. Those are things that are realistically less expensive to an employer. You can afford them. And then in time, as business builds, you add in medical insurance. But also nowadays, if they have individual insurance, you could actually contribute towards their individual benefits through a independent or individual health reimbursement arrangement. This way, you're not bringing on the onset of the full benefits and what it could cost you, not only in price point, but in compliance. So it kind of gives you a little wiggle room and some breathing room as you're navigating to keep this person on and slowly enhancing. Everybody looks at inputting medical first.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. And you know what? I'm completely unaware of any of this stuff because I just look at it purely like what's the cost going to cost me for what their salary is. Now I got to put them on payroll, benefits, the whole nine, and then at the end of the day, I'm trying to, like you said, what's your why? Why are you taking this job? Because my goal for you is to be able to provide for your family, learn skill sets that you could bring with you anywhere. I mean, I'm a prime example. I've been in real estate for 10 years. I've been recruited out of real estate 3 times, just because my clients are, excuse me, my dogs are barking, but it's, they've recruited me up just because they know that, I have a blueprint of success of how to get in front of people and whatever it is. And it's just, as a business owner, I know that at some point I'm gonna have to get more structured. I welcome the challenge, but it's we're doing our business plan for next year, and is this something that I have to consider because second half of 2023 that's when we bring in a full-time admin, right? So again, we're going to be having a conversation. Just put me in your database. So, it's good stuff. But listen, I wanted to congratulate you. You told me that recently, you Sayreville girl, celebrated your 44th anniversary with your husband. And I know that funny story that you kind of shared with me was he was like, "Let's move to Nutley," and you're like, "Nah, I kind of like Sayreville."
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
40, that's what I always say to him that I'm a Sayreville girl, but I would never admit it publicly. So I'm not sure I should be saying it now, but I am. I love the town.
right.
I always did.
No,
So,
and I appreciate that. It's like, and these towns come full circle too. I grew up in Long Branch. I went to RBC, Red Bank Catholic. When I went to high school there, I'm a 91 graduate. It was Red Bank was considered dead bank, right? And I still laugh that there's a Tiffany's there now. And I'm like, where did this come from? Especially having lived in New York for 20 years. Um, one of the things that I love asking people, and this is where I told you I was going to put you on the spot. Um,
uh-oh.
you are somewhat a self-proclaimed kind of love to read books. What's the one book that's either influenced you or that you recommend to the most amount of people?
Oh, self-help. You know what?
It doesn't have to be self-help. I mean, it
You
could be
know what?
anything.
I have to tell you that I do read for, business books that are on the shelf behind me. But I always say to people, sometimes, you read all day. Like I read
Right,
contracts, I read benefit details, certificates. Sometimes you have to read for fun without thinking. And I think that's just as valuable. So I'm a big James Patterson. Anything James Patterson, I always read. Um, because you just need to you read without thinking. And, so, Stephen Covey, yes, I love his books. I read them all the time. So does everybody. But
right.
I do find that they're very good. Um,
I think I see the Think and Grow Rich. If I'm looking at the top shelf up there, is like your fourth or fifth book to the left.
yes. Yeah.
How do I know this? It's right here too.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So,
So,
oh,
so I mean, there's so much to read out there, but sometimes you have to walk away and say, I need to shut down and not read for any growth work. I just need to read for myself.
I'll share this one for you. I consider myself part of the Tony Robbins universe, and
Mhm.
I was really excited to be part of it, especially when my daughter was young. And one guy or some random guy, I think he was Norwegian, Swedish, or whatever. And I was telling him, it was like, one of the big things, it's like, what are you looking to get out of this? Right. And it's like, I want to be a better father, this and that. And he's like, oh,
Mhm.
so tell, like, of course, because you're in that ecosystem, it's what are you looking at, like, how old's your daughter? Right. Like, and I said, she's like 1 or 2 at the time. And he goes, what I found is that create a playlist on iTunes with all the songs that they like and just, you know, Kira, my daughter's name's Kira. So it's like Kira 2017, Kira 2018. And you'll see it
Mhm.
goes from the nursery rhymes to now it's like Taylor Swift and, stuff that, T Swizzle, as they say. Um, and then as far as books, you kinda took me to something that I hadn't thought about in a while because we only do it once a year, but, we bought Dr. Seuss's "Oh, the Places You'll Go,"
Mhm.
to talk about just a fun little book to read, but, this same guy is like, "Get a book like that and, have all of her teachers at the end of the year sign the book and leave a message." And we've
Mhm.
been doing that since she started going to daycare at 1.
Yeah. Yep.
So, like, just to see what people write every year, because we look at it, we're like,
Mhm.
and the goal is to give it to her when she graduates high school, to
I
say,
love that idea.
yeah, these are all the people that changed your life or,
I
had
like
an
that.
influence. It's like we were walking by her kindergarten school, which is by my mother's house. And we're just walking by or driving by, I think. And we're like, what's your fondest memory? Because she's 8 now. And this was like 4 years ago. And she, it was literally her kindergarten teacher. Like, she
Mhm.
just remembers nothing about the school, but and the
Mhm.
cool part is we're still friends with her teacher. Like, she's a personal
Mhm.
friend of ours. And that's where I think, where your connection to your clients, similar to me, like I'm like, these kids think I bought them the house. I told you that quick story about the YouTube channel where like people are like, "Oh, you're on YouTube?" Like, there's something really important about me. And I'm like, "No, I just yeah, Mr. Beast subscribes to me." And they're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that's it." So yeah, this will be on YouTube as well. And I just Teresa, I know, thank you for doing this. I know we try to schedule this a few times and we get
Thank you for asking me.
yeah. So if there's anything, I'll leave your contact information in the notes section of the YouTube channel, etc. Feel free to share this with your loved ones, your friends, your colleagues. I thought it was a lot of fun. I hope I didn't, put you on the spot and grill you too much. And
No. Nope, take it all on the chin. So
And I appreciate you. You've been,
thank you.
how long have you been in the networking group? So for the people that are watching, how do we know each other? We're in a networking group together on Wednesday mornings here in Monmouth County. And, I know that you've been certainly, I think I'm one of the newer additions as well, but we're kind of the young guns to the group. So,
Yes, I joined January of 22
and
to the networking group.
yeah, who is your kind of invite or who invited you?
Josh,
Josh? Yeah.
Liberty Payroll. Yep.
Yep, I've had him on the fireside chats as well. He's just
Yeah,
killing it. He's doing a lot of good things and
he really is.
yeah. So, anything that, how do what's, one thing that we haven't really kind of talked about, we have a couple of minutes left, but what, you know, what's your sweet spot? I know we were talking about like the big corporate clients versus kind of I feel like I'm way too small for you, but
No, nobody's nope. You know what? I work with so many clients that have only themselves and one other person. Um, because everybody respected. And if somebody calls me, I'm going to help them.
right.
But the market I work predominantly in is the 15 to 75 is my strength for a lot, but I've gone up to 150. I truly don't aggressively go over 150
Right.
because I, I need to have a connection with the employees also. And when you're a 200 life group, they don't want you really talking to the employees all the time.
Sure.
And to me, it's critical. I need to understand the employees' needs, whether you're one employee or 150 employees. I need to understand their needs also. So that's really my sweet spot.
So you guys out there, business owners, I know you guys we're all looking to do great things, especially now where it's so hard to get in touch with people or recruit them to your firms. This is a really good way. You're gonna have to do it anyway. So get in touch with Teresa. You've been a joy. I love talking to you, so I appreciate your time again. All right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate this too. And I look forward to the YouTube.
I'll send you the link.